Welcome to Useful Design Ideas. This episode is similar to the previous one. It's more about making leather drive belts for driving dynamos and other things. If you watch the channel regularly, you will know that I've been rebuilding a really nice steam plant which uses a Stuart Models 10V steam engine to drive a PM Research dynamo. I'll show how I made this belt in the series as well. It's a chamfered scarf joint that's stuck together with cyanoacrylate or superglue. The main problem was the joint in the leather belt didn't look too good because of the colour of the leather, so I thought I would make another one using a different colour leather. This stuff's no good at all. It's very knobbly on the top surface, it's too thin and far too elastic for the application, and when I cast my mind back, I had a girlfriend like that once. Here I'm cutting a strip from a piece of sheet. First of all, I cut one side and then I move the ruler to cut another side, which gives me a strip of 1/2 inch in diameter. In exactly the same way as with the brown belt, I used a scarf joint and some superglue. There wasn't much going for this black belt, it was too thin, it was wobbling about quite a lot. The scarf joint wasn't very strong and the elasticity of the leather caused it to come loose, and when the dynamo was under load it fell off. The original brown leather belt was a lot better. As I'm going to discard this belt, I thought I'd give it a strength test, and it did tear, but not on the joint. It tore at either side of the joint, and I had to put quite a lot of pressure on it to make it do this. Here's the black leather belt, and as you can see the scarf joint is starting to separate, and this is not good for obvious reasons. This was my first attempt at leather belt making, and it's fairly grim really. It's a leather belt for my 1.5 inch scale Showman's engine. It's very badly held together using 2 staples. But it's worked perfectly on the traction engine for about, 15 years? I will try a stapled version of a shorter belt. The first attempt was a bit horrible, mainly because I put the staple in the wrong place and then I tried another one next to it and it didn't get any better until I ended up with a lot of them. I have a serious problem when it comes to working on things that don't keep still. I don't know why this is, but it's just a fact. And it's definitely not an advert for necrophilia. My friend Andrew Stone at Black Orchard Leather works with leather all the time, and he's extremely good at it. When I explained to Andrew that I can't even sew a button on a pair of trousers properly, he sent me a video. Here it is. Thanks to Andrew for this, it showed me exactly how to do it. He's not really making a belt, he's just showing the principle of stitching leather together. Here are 2 pieces of leather, and very quickly he's punching 3 holes in each piece. That is something I would never have thought of, punching holes before you put the needle in place. I watch the type of TV programs occasionally where it shows people repairing things. And one program in particular, called The Repair Shop, features a lady called Susie Fletcher, who is a master of the craft of working with leather. She makes it look so easy and stitches leather so fast and so fluently, I can't really make out what she's doing, sometimes with 2 needles. This defeats me entirely. If you watch what Andrew's doing, he pushes the needle through, then on the end of the piece of wax thread, he creates a slip knot, and as you can see here, it's pulling it tight. Personally, I would never have thought to do that, but this is apparently the way it's done. If you just watch what he's doing, it makes it look really easy. But the part is moving around all the time, and this is no good for me at all. My brain at 71 is still fairly good. Not as good as it was when I was younger, but it's okay. The point being that things that fooled me when I was younger still fooled me at 71. This is going to sound like I've made it up, but it's very true. When I got a divorce from my second wife, 2 things worried me a lot. One was how to use the washing machine, because my second wife made it look really difficult. And the other thing was how to pair socks. By that I mean wrapping socks together so they come out of the drawer as a pair. My friend Andrew, who you see working at the moment on screen, showed me how to do it, and it was a lot simpler than I thought. However, I did have a much better idea that was less time-consuming. I threw away all of my socks, except for the black ones, and then I bought more black ones, so all my socks are black, and don't need pairing. And as for the washing machine problem, I just read the manual. Please have a look at my friend Andrew's website, it's well worth a look. Andrew can supply strips of leather at the width, thickness and colour that you require. At this stage I would just like to mention that this is very good quality leather and not like some of the leather that I've seen online. Back to the drive belt job. I bought a very small stapler that uses number 10 staples, and this allowed me to staple the belts together, which was better than the superglue method. The first job was a bit of a mess. I couldn't get the staples all in the same place, so I just used loads of them, and it looks horrible, but it worked. This next sequence is take 2. I used 3 staples in the belt, and once the belt was stapled I hammered them flat on the bench as shown here. Here was another failed attempt. It's really difficult to get the staples in line, but after a bit of practice and using a plastic clamp to hold the belt in position, I did get better at it. This arrived in the post from Andrew at Black Orchard. It is some thicker leather belting and it's perfect for the job. As you can see, even my stapling's getting better with this stuff. And it's not practice, this thicker leather doesn't move around quite so much. I'd like to mention before I leave this section of the video, you do need to pre-stretch the leather, then recut the belt to length before you staple it together. In his studio workshop, he also made me this beautiful leather drive belt for my large traction engine. All stitched, it was a work of art. Here's a clip that I recorded on the day I received the belt. And here is the belt fitted between the flywheel and the pulley on the generator. To my eye, this looks to be exactly the right thickness. On some miniature traction engines, the belts are too thick. This looks just right. And it was. It never once slipped off the flywheel or the generator pulley. Here's a bit of slow motion. And that's it. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.